Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Lindsay Sin, Deputy Secretary for Women Veterans Affairs at CalVet, the California Department of Veterans Affairs. Thank you all very much for joining our call today. We are going to discuss vet centers today, which are a great resource for veterans and all throughout our communities in California. Prior to starting, though, I'm going to do some housekeeping items. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody so that we don't have any feedback or scratchiness on the call. Sometimes you can't even help it, but there's some sort of reverb with your phones, and we want to make sure that everybody can hear our presenters very clearly. So for our three individuals that are presenting on this call today, Albert, Yesenia, and Dottie, when you guys are ready to speak, go ahead and unmute yourselves by pressing *6 on your phones. That way you can go ahead and begin the presentation roll. But in the meantime, we're going to mute everybody for my portion, and then just unmute yourself, ladies, when you're ready to talk. And then for the rest of the group, we can go ahead and unmute you at the end of the call when we take questions and answers, so you can all chime in. And you're also welcome to use our chat window through the webinar software that you should all have received via email in order to ask questions as well. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone now. Great. And just so you're aware, you can always find these archived monthly phone calls at our website, calvet.ca.gov/womenveterans, and it's located under the Resources tab. And we've just updated the archived calls so that you can see the video as well and get the presentations directly. I don't think people were able to see that before. There was an issue with our link, so it's been fixed, and now you can go back and look at our monthly phone calls that we've been doing for some time now. So a little bit about additional housekeeping items. We really try and reserve these calls for the topic at hand or for questions you may have about CalVet specifically. So if you have any issues where you need to reach out because of a matter of a personal nature, please contact our office directly. You can email us at womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov, or you can call our office directly, 916-653-1402. And that way, if you're needing an issue resolved on a personal matter, we can take care of you right away. Otherwise, we're going to really focus on our topic at hand. So let me go ahead and get started. We have our webinar up right now, so hopefully you can see our PowerPoint. I'm going to run through a couple slides about some things that CalVet, Women Veterans, and the department are doing. And then afterwards, we'll go ahead and introduce our callers and presenters to start their portion about vet centers. So let me begin. This is just an overview of what we're talking about. Our guest speakers today are Dottie Guy from the Oakland Vet Center, Albert Revives from the Sacramento Vet Center, and Yesenia Thomas from the San Bernardino Vet Center. A couple things about what we're doing here at the department. Our focus really for 2015 is on advocacy and outreach. So for advocacy, we're focusing a lot on education for service providers, for individuals and advocates about military sexual assault and military sexual trauma. In April, we did 2 webinars. We did a webinar with the California Victims Compensation Fund regarding AB 2545, I believe it is. This will give individuals access to funds for mental health counseling through the Victims Compensation Fund. Anybody can apply who experienced sexual assault in the military and be awarded funds in order to receive additional mental health counseling if necessary. Additionally, we did another webinar with Swords to Plowshares that focused on training service providers about the aspects of military sexual assault that they may not have been aware. We had 140 participants on that webinar training. It was excellent. It's also archived on our website under our resources page, and it's a great opportunity for us and for you all to get more education on the issue of military sexual assault and how to work with survivors. Additionally, it's available for continuing education credits for some clinical disciplines as well. Under housing, we've been working a lot with the Veterans Homeless and Housing Prevention Act this month. If you're not aware, Prop 41 was signed into law last year. That appropriates about $600 million to go into development of housing specifically for veterans. That includes transitional housing and permanent supportive housing. Well, we just released the first $75 million that were available for application and award. And so we've received the applications back. They were due at the end of April, and so we've been in the scoring process. I've been very involved in that scoring process to take a look and evaluate the projects that have applied for the funds, and so we should be awarding those funds probably in the next few months. Under healthcare, we're working with the VA Northern California healthcare system right now to focus on the needs of women living in rural areas to find out how we can better improve the access to the VA Northern California healthcare system. This project is really through a grant from the Office of Rural Health, VA Office of Rural Health. The hope is that as we pilot this project with VA Northern California healthcare system, there will be other opportunities in different facilities throughout California to focus on the same thing, to really look at the needs assessment of women who are accessing VA or not accessing VA and improving those services for them so that they can get good quality health care. A couple of other things we're doing. I happen to attend the conference for the national conference for my counterparts throughout the 50 states and U.S. territories. This was a conference that took place in Texas. I was there at the end of April, and it was a phenomenal event, great conference. I learned a lot, and it turns out there are some other states doing amazing things for women vets, and so we hope to adopt some of those same ideas and bring them here to California. A couple examples would be the state of Texas has this great employment-focused and entrepreneurship-focused track from their State Department of Veterans Affairs, known as the Texas Veterans Commission, that works to get women into good jobs and careers. The Texas Veterans Commission is very willing to share this information and this curriculum, and so we are going to try and adopt it, make it specific to California, and hopefully get it out there for women to utilize. And so this will hopefully help towards some employment resources. They had a couple really interesting presentations, including one by Cassandra Melgar Cedebaca. She runs the F7 group, and she presented on last month's phone call for our statewide phone calls. And they're doing some entrepreneurship opportunities in Texas, but anybody's able to apply, and so there's information on our website under our resources page about that. We'll also be working to do considerable website updates for our web pages coming up shortly. That'll be taking place hopefully in the next couple months. We're going to reorganize the content and put up more relevant information for women and for advocates that need to see it. So keep checking back with our website. You will see kind of a new revamped website shortly. Additionally, next month we'll be engaged in training our county veteran service officers about women veterans and their needs. And so right now I'm working on developing a comprehensive training for them at their next conference taking place next month. And I'll be focusing a little bit on cultural competency, but we'll also be looking at medical presumptive conditions that CVSOs need to be aware of when women are filing claims. And we'll also be working with them to learn better how to serve women in their communities and counties. So that's kind of what's coming up for CalVet right now for women veterans. Here's our contact information. Our email, our general email is womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov. You're also welcome to email me directly, lindsay.sin@calvet.ca.gov, and then there's our contact phone number as well. All of that's available on our website too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and open up the next presentation and introduce our presenters talking about vet centers. Okay, so we have a fantastic presentation today. Really talking about vet centers. This kind of came out of a conversation that Albert and I were having at an outreach event we did last month with the VA Northern California healthcare system. We were talking about the fact that vet centers continue to be a very underutilized resource among our communities and among veterans in the communities, when in fact they're doing really great things. There's fantastic staff at these centers. They can provide all sorts of resources, workshops, some therapy, some counseling for veterans. They can really be kind of an anchor to their specific communities, as I've seen through all of these vet centers that we're going to hear from today. And I hope that you're able to share the resources and information with women and with veterans that you meet. And then also, if you're a veteran, utilize the services yourself. So we're going to open this up with Dottie. Dottie's going to be from the Oakland Vet Center. She'll be actually running through the presentation, and then we'll be asking Albert and Yesenia to chime in about on some of the slides, but also to talk more about what they're doing in their vet centers after Dottie finishes the slides as well. So Dottie, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to you. If you can unmute your phone using
Already done.
Ah, beautiful. All right, and then I'll go ahead and advance your slides if you want to start.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. All right. My name is Dottie Guy. I am the Outreach Coordinator for the Oakland Vet Center. I'm just going to present our slides and what we are and what we do, and then Yesenia is going to talk about the history of the vet centers, and we're going to kick it to Albert to talk about what we're doing for women vets. Next slide. So the vet center, we are the place where people can come to after they've gone to war, after they've experienced sexual trauma or any other things, and they can come to us, get some counseling, have a cup of coffee. We're a really open place. Next slide. And to be eligible, you have to meet these criteria, although there's some flexibility with it. We serve veterans who've served in combat zones from World War II up to current conflicts, those who've experienced military sexual trauma. We do bereavement. We see people who have had direct medical emergency services, mental health, and mortuary services. We see drone operators, and we also see family members of those who are eligible, and we do bereavement services for certain segments of folks who've died on active duty. Next slide. And we also have groups, and we have community events, and we're a part of the community. There are over 300 vet centers in the United States, and a lot of us are very connected to our different communities. And in certain vet centers, there's also people on hand to help you with your VA claims or anything else that you need. Next slide. If you know a veteran who is in crisis and the vet center is not available, there's the Veterans Crisis Line that you can call. The number is listed there. You can call 1-800-WAR-VETS. It's a 24/7 hotline. But if the veteran's immediately dangerous to themselves, please call 911 and get them some help right away. Next slide. And like I said, there's plenty of vet centers available for you. Most of us are open 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, but there's some vet centers who are open on the weekends and they offer extended hours. The website is vetcenter.va.gov, so you can find your latest one. And this is the contact information for myself, Albert, and Yesenia. And now I'm going to give it to Yesenia to talk about the history of the vet center.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Yesenia. Thank you, Dottie, for that information. As you guys can see, a lot of the information out there for the vet center is easily accessible. Depending on where you live, you can connect to the vet center. So now with that said, I want to talk a little bit about the history of the vet center program. The vet center program was actually established back in 1979. It was established by Vietnam vets. And I don't know if some of you are familiar, I'm sure, with the history of Vietnam vets, a lot of the lack of support that they got, and unfortunately we can see the effects of that generation today. We see a lot of broken homes, a lot of broken families, a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, and so forth. So the way it started was as a vet-to-vet program where it was veterans connecting with other veterans and processing through the trauma. As Dottie mentioned, we are focused, we do provide services for combat veterans, but in essence, to process some of those things vet to vet, and today we continue to be that. Most of the people that work at a vet center program are veterans themselves, so it continues to be that legacy of the vet to vet piece. Now, with that said, in order for you to connect to your closest vet center, you can actually go to your website, vetcenter.ca.gov, and on the location, just put in your zip code and find the local vet center there. Now, I know the traditional hours are from 8 to 4:30, but many of the vet centers are extending those hours to meet the need of some of the veterans' needs. From, like, for example, here at our vet center, we're open from 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Saturdays from 8 to 4:30. The goal is to remain available to provide that added support. With that said, Albert, you can go ahead and move forward on some of the services that are provided.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Albert Revivas from the Sacramento Vet Center. I'm going to be talking about what women-specific programs are going up here in Northern California at certain vet centers, and also our intake and what we do for the active duty part. So going down to the co-ed, we have co-ed women-specific programs that some of our vet centers, and I cannot say that all of the vet centers do, but some of them do and utilize. For instance, Chico Vet Center now, even though they're all the way up in Chico, they still do things for veterans and active duty members. And what I mean by this is sometimes they do things like Qigong. They have a guitar group, a golf group at times, and they do also take care of our military sexual trauma victims as well, because every vet center that I have been in touch with does have military sexual trauma group and individual counseling. Now, for the women who are spouses as well, it does not just, it does include you as well, because we do take care of the significant others. What I mean by significant others, at our vet center in Sacramento, we do things like if you are living with the spouse or living with, your veteran or active duty member, and you are the spouse, and, I'm sorry, let me take that away. I'm using spouse too much. Now, if you are the significant other of the veteran, you can also come in and help him or her in his therapy as well, because we know that when we come back as a combat veteran, who we go back to is our spouse and our partner, and so we know that sometimes they need help to help us as well. Now, in Roanoke Park, let's say, they have things, like I said, they have something called Seeking Safety, and that is a group for our MST victims as well. The greatest thing I like about what Roanoke Park is doing right now is that they have a volunteer that will take, if you guys have heard of this, women and men, they go out and do this Alcatraz swim, if anybody knows what that entails. They take off from the shore of San Francisco Bay, and they swim across the bay to Alcatraz. And so they have a volunteer there that will help train the women veterans and active duty members just for that specific route going down to the Alcatraz swim. In Modesto now, they have a great program there. What I mean by that is they have actually taken and been part of a women's retreat. If you've heard of Center Point in Colorado, we as in the Modesto Vet Center, has taken their women to a meditation and yoga retreat in Colorado. So that's something that's great in Modesto. They also have a women's fly fishing trip group. That is provided by Rivers of Recovery. And they have a female advocate that we have in the vet centers have hired on to do these things. And as outreach workers, we go out and we find these so-called volunteer groups that want to volunteer their services to the vet centers. And these vet centers, specifically, each one has a team leader. And these team leaders, they take these programs and they utilize these programs for the betterment of our veteran and their community. So we are very community-based, according to these vet centers in California. I'm just talking about California in general because we are talking about the CalVet webinar here. Now in Concord, let's move on to Concord. Now Concord had a women peer group. Of course, the women peer group is like a social support network, so we don't leave anybody out as well because they have a recreational group as well. They have done something like women's archery. So women's archery in specific is, like I said, specifically for the women veterans and active duty. When I say active duty, let's go back and talk about active duty. As far as I understand, that the vet centers is a VA is under the VA umbrella, but as a veteran myself, I know that an active duty member cannot use the big VA. When I say big VA, like the Northern California healthcare system. in our vet centers, we are seeing active duty members. I do the Travis Air Force Base and Beale Air Force Base, and when I see them, when I do TAP briefings, I specifically talk about the vet centers and the programs that we have, because we don't do anything with medication. We do not offer medication because we do things holistically. So our intake, when people ask us, I need medication, we really don't do medication. We do it by holistic volunteer work from the community. For those that think we just have to see combat veterans, military sexual trauma victims, bereavement, that's not necessarily true. We have something called HVET, and that HVET means humanitarian vet. In our intake system, what that means is that you do not have to fit all the criteria that are needed to be seen at a vet center. And these vet centers, folks, they have these team leaders again that is really discretionary of the team leader and the counselor to bring in this HVET and to see if they need our help and if we fit that criteria to help them as well. Dottie put in her PowerPoint that we see emergency medical and mental health and mortuary unmanned aerial support services, and, you know, the drone operators. Yes, we do, folks. And what we do with these, when we do the intakes for these, is that active duty part. We're pushing into the active duty unit because we know that as readjustment counseling services and outreach people like myself, Yesenia, and Dottie, is that we have active duty members come up to us and we care for the community as much as we being veterans ourselves. So we have gone ahead and said, as I'm talking about the regional part to it, we have gone an active duty. We have added active duty and reservists to our list of eligibility criteria. Now, with that, I wanted to close with that by thanking, you know, Dottie for doing this PowerPoint and Yesenia calling in from, you know, Southern California with this. And I thank you, Calvet with Lindsay Sin, for doing this as well. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Lindsay. Just hand it off to Lindsay. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Albert. Thank you, Yesenia, and thank you, Dottie. So as I've listened to all three of you present, I have some questions and some points of clarification that I want to cover for our listeners because, you know, vet centers are an underutilized resource, but they can be a great anchor in the community for veterans and family members that need to seek services. So I understand that one of the greatest advantages of a vet center is that if you need to seek mental health counseling, if you want to engage in some sort of a therapy, group therapy, you can do so without worrying that that treatment you're seeking there will be connected with your VA medical record or with a mental health record that you may have in your civilian life.
Correct. Our records do stay in-house
right.
at each vet center.
And that's a great resource because so many veterans coming home who do need to seek mental health counseling, for families that want to seek mental health counseling, may want to keep that confidential for a variety of reasons. It could be because of future employment, current employment. It could be because they don't want other people to know in the community that they might run into somewhere else. There could be a variety of reasons. So this becomes a really great resource to receive very veteran-specific, culturally competent services and counseling and support without having to connect it to a mental health record of some kind that that concerns people. And so I think that's a good reason why vet centers were created, but also why they're so well promoted, because, or we do promote them because this is a really good kind of an isolated resource for individuals. So through HVET, it sounds like you don't have to fit the criteria for either being an MST survivor specifically or a combat vet.
Yes.
It sounds like you can have some other conditions and qualify and still seek a vet center for services?
Correct. In the discretion of the team leader and the counselor.
Okay. Now, do you have to have VA healthcare eligibility?
No.
Okay. And that's also a huge point. So many of our veterans, National Guard members, And of course, active duty members aren't yet established or will not be eligible for VA health care, and yet they can still seek a vet center as a resource. That's huge. We find over and over again that some of our folks that fall through the cracks happen to be people that are not eligible for VA health care. So they need other resources. So this is a good one, too.
In addition to that, Lindsay, if I can just chime in,
Please.
Vet Center's program also provides counseling for, sometimes they're not eligible for medical in terms of certain kind of discharge, but at the vet centers, it's not contingent on the discharge type.
That's really good news, really good news. So even if you're unable or someone you know is unable to get VA health care because of a discharge, because they have an OTH discharge or something lower than that, they can still go to a vet center to seek services. That's excellent.
Yes, I've also counseled with my team about the dishonorable side to it. We have been seeing dishonorable. If it's linked to their mental health, like PTSD, if they've gotten discharged because of PTSD, factors into it, then we can kind of link that in as well. Then
someone can be seen for services. That's good. Yeah, unfortunately, we know that the discharges given in the military are not always accurate and not always fair to the person that is being separated. And so we do see a lot of people that have less than honorable or other than honorable discharges, and unfortunately it affects everything. It affects their benefits. Wonderful. Now, if a vet center in your community, first of all, do you have to be seeking a vet center either that's only in your county of residence or city of residence, or can you go to a vet center outside of your county and city?
Yesenia, would you like
You can go to,
or anybody?
I'll take it. You can go to anyone you want to, especially in the Bay Area. We have several vet centers that are in this area. We have some people who come up from San Jose, some people from Richmond. It all depends on what you feel comfortable with. We'll see you.
That's amazing. So you don't have to use this within your own county or city of residence. It's not like a hospital facility where you have to really be in that community to go to it. So you can kind of look at what other vet centers are offering and see if some of those programs fit your needs and maybe make a quick trip over there. That's excellent. And then how about creating new programs? Is that really up to the staff at the vet center? So, Albert, do you look at that and say, well, I think that this is the need in the community and this is what we're going to try and create to meet it?
Yes. It depends on the community and what volunteers and the community partners can provide for the area.
Okay.
I don't necessarily seek, something like a community-based partner in San Jose. I don't usually do that because, first of all, they kind of center their activities in the San Jose area per se. Up here, we're very fortunate to have a brand new Wounded Warrior Project coordinator out here now. So I'm working with him to figure out what can we do to get our Wounded Warriors going.
Okay.
And they provide as well for our vet centers in conjunction with their therapy.
Oh, wow. Okay, wonderful. So it sounds like people can approach the staff and talk about what the needs are, what programs that people may want to see at the vet centers, and if it's feasible, then people can do it. But every vet center probably needs double, triple the number of staff they have, right? To serve the needs of the community. So it sounds like volunteer opportunities and internship opportunities are also something that may be available at vet centers.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
Correct. Volunteers.
Yeah, we also.
Yeah, go ahead.
We also have work studies. If you have a vet that's in college or a dependent of a vet who wants to maybe learn more about the vet center and what we do, or who has an interest in counseling, they can do their work study. We are always looking for work studies to help out in our office.
Super. So that's several opportunities there. That's an employment opportunity with the work study program. That's $8 an hour, tax-free, up to 25 hours a week for a veteran in college. Or a dependent in college that's using a GI Bill. And then there's also potentially volunteer opportunities, internship opportunities, but you have to contact your local center and find out if it's available. I know a lot of people come to my office and ask, how can we serve veterans? How can we work better to meet the needs of veterans in California or in my community? And so this is another good resource for that. That's excellent. Super, super, super. Okay. And so what kind of coffee do you guys offer, and do you offer donuts? What snacks are available at vet centers is my next question.
You know, I have traveled, you know, all the way up to Chico, to Concord, myself, Citrus Heights, and Roanoke Park as well. And I've seen a few of goodies come by.
Oh,
and
okay.
What I mean goodies is, you're right, we have donuts come in, not by our staff.
Yeah.
They have been donated.
Oh, that's
We have had fresh fruit and vegetables donated as well, and homemade cookies and pies.
Wow, very nice.
You know, it's
nice.
great to see that, and because we know that the community and the volunteers really care for their vets, and it could be really that their son is going there.
Yeah.
They wanted to provide their
bit.
son's friends with a few things.
Wow, wow. Well, if I ever take up baking, then I will bring something over. It's not likely. I'm a terrible cook. I don't know about the rest of you. But there you go. That's another opportunity to pop in, to say hello, to provide some. And I say that tongue-in-cheek about the, you know, what kind of coffee or what kind of donuts. But I certainly found that if you offer food, veterans will show up. So in my years working with veterans, so just keep that in mind. If you're not already providing goodies, then you may want to. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to open it up for some questions from our listeners, or if Dottie and Yesenia and Albert have anything else they want to add, let's cover some topics here or ask some more questions. We've got a great, 3 great presenters online with us, so fire away, guys. Let me
so just to tail off of some of the stuff, just to remind everybody, we are completely free, completely confidential. We're not only here for the veteran, but the veteran and their family, because as we all know, the impact of serving in combat and certain traumas are not limited to just the veteran. The veteran is not the only one dealing with it, the family as well. So free, confidential, and it's not like there's a cutoff time. As mentioned earlier, we serve veterans from World War II. We have World War II, Korean, Vietnam, Desert Storm, OIF, OEF, OND, and so forth. There's not a cutoff time. It's not like 6 sessions, 12 sessions, and it's as needed when needed. So important to connect with your local vet center and utilize it, make it work for you. You know, a lot of times we have a lot of veterans that don't seek out the services, that don't ask those questions, and don't empower themselves to get connected, and don't have the support that they need. Use it. That's what we're here for. With that said, thank you, Lindsay, for letting us be a part of this.
Thanks, Yesenia. That's really important information. I think you guys have been driving home the really good points about why vet centers are advantageous. So does anybody have any questions for our presenters or for me? You can unmute your phone.
Pamela, I have a question.
Please.
This is Pamela Rosada with the Interagency Council on Veterans. One of our sub-work groups that is focused on suicide intervention and prevention has been pushing real hard over the past year to educate behavioral health clinicians outside of the VA system on cultural competency with military and veterans. One of the things that I've heard, yet not been able to confirm with a vet center person until this moment, is that vet center, a lot of the programs that we proliferate are all-day programs or 2-day programs, where some clinicians would have an hour or maybe a couple of hours for their staff to listen in to or be trained by someone or educated by someone. I have heard that vet centers will assist with that to a certain extent. And so I'm asking, is it true? Is it possible if we run into clinicians that are looking for someone to come and talk to their staff for an hour or so about military cultural competency, is a vet center a place I can send them or no?
I can take this one. Actually, my team leader, David Joseph, he works a lot with Swords to Plowshares to do combat to community programming. If you send me an email, this is Dottie Guy, I can definitely get you connected.
Beautiful. I will reach out to Mary Ellen Salzano or Lindsay for your specific information. The other question, and I suspect the answer is a yes, given the answer you just gave me, was if you experience a veteran in your services that clearly could benefit from a discharge upgrade, do you connect them with legal clinics?
Yes, we do.
Tapped into Swords to Plowshares, you do. Thank you. That was my only question. Thank you. Great presentation. Really, really nice to hear all the information.
Yeah, one of the best things and one of my favorite things about working for the Vet Center program is that I connect a lot with resources in the community, because important. There's so much more to readjustment than just getting counseling. It's getting you a job, getting you employment, training, housing, all these things. And one of the biggest things that I do is to make sure that every resource that I use is someone who I can trust and someone I can give a warm handoff to. I basically have an office at Swords to Plowshares because I'm there so much. Or they should give me a desk at least. But I work a lot. If there's anything that they need, they know that they can come to me and I will answer the question. And the same with them. Star Lar, she's the Women Veteran Service Program Manager. I know that there's absolutely anything that I need from them or in the community, I can go to them, no questions asked.
Pamela, this is Albert. A question on your legal services. Fortunately, we at the Sacramento Vet Center has partnered up with a legal service. And we do have legal services there, but it's brand new to me, but I can't really go into that. But you could go ahead and send them to our office, and we'll see what we can do for them with our legal services volunteers. Again, it was volunteered to us to have legal services with our veterans. So yeah, just send them, give me a call, 916-566-7430 if you're in the Sacramento area.
I will do that. Just out of curiosity, is your connection with Legal Services of Northern California? We've just been made aware of their new vet legal clinic, and they're getting ready to present to our Veteran Justice subwork group in July, so maybe we'll hear about their connection with you.
All righty. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and so you bring up a really good point, Pamela, which I think highlights what this means. You know, vet centers can often be that point of contact for a veteran and a family to refer to other services. This is a great place to get advocacy or connection with services that are needed in the area. Obviously, the folks at vet centers are veterans, are people that have been working with veterans for a long time. They know their resources in their area. They have connections to the community, so they can be a resource for that as well, just like our county veteran service officers can be as well. And, you know, the hours, just as you all mentioned, you know, typically seem like they're from 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. But going through some of the other vet centers, pulling up their information on vetcenter.va.gov, it looks like some have extended hours, some have weekend hours. There is opportunities to seek services at some of these centers outside of the 8 to 4:30 time frame Monday through Friday. So keep that in mind as well. And I really encourage all of you to take a look at the vet centers in your area. There's a great list of each vet center that's listed. And so I have a question, Yesenia. I looked for, I don't know that we're calling the vet center San Bernardino Vet Center. Is that the correct name, or are you guys called something else down in San
No, we're called the San Bernardino Vet Center. We're located in the city of Colton, so there's been some discrepancy with that, but we're in the city of Colton, San Bernardino Vet Center.
Okay, so it might be under Colton then. Okay, got it. Super. Do we have any other questions from our callers? Okay, so what I'd like to do now is invite people to, for those of you that have called in, this can be an opportunity for you to talk a little bit about some of your programs that you're involved in. Let's use this as a networking opportunity. We like to do this with most of our calls and find time for people to talk about what programs they're doing or events they're doing, or if you have some more general questions. I know, I think, Dottie, you said that you had a photographer who had a project she wanted to discuss. She was in from D.C.
That wasn't me.
Oh, was that Yesenia? No, who was that? That was
No.
Christine. It was Christine. Christine, do you have your friend or your acquaintance on the line right now? *6 to unmute your phone.
Thank you for that. Technology sucks for me. Mary, is Mary on the line? She must not have made it. She's in from D.C., and she's looking to do a photo documentary of homeless women veterans and kind of their journey. So she's willing to go with them through their appointments or see where they're staying or not staying and things like that. So if anyone knows of a homeless woman veteran that's interested in sharing her story, I would be happy to connect the two of you, or with Mary, and she'll be here for a month. So she's in the LA Riverside kind of area. So anyone, well, Southern California. So she'll come out and meet with the lady and meet with you, and you know, and if the woman's not comfortable after meeting her, she's totally fine with that. So it's not any pressure in any way to follow through if they're not comfortable. But she's really lovely, and she just is trying to get more attention to the issues we face. So that's why she's here for that.
And where is her project going to be displayed or covered, Christine?
It will be. I think it's going to go back to DC, and I don't know if it's like on a circuit or the exact details of it. But I can get that. I guess I can get you a little information email put together and send it to you, and then if anybody wants it, you can send it out.
Okay, do that, and we can send it to our listserv. That would be great.
I also wanted to throw in. Can I have one more second? The Vet Center program was founded by my boss, Shad Mishad, so it's really nice to hear everybody talking about it and all the wonderful things that it does. So it's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. Thank him for us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He would love to hear that. I'm going to tell him. He'll be really happy.
Oh, amazing. So I'm going to take a quick second, too, from Calvet. If you're not already on our listserv or our roster, then we really encourage you to join us. For women who have served in the military, please join our roster so that we can know who you are and where you are, and we can stay connected with you. We have over 3,500 women veterans here in California that have joined our roster. This is an opportunity for us to stand up and be counted, ladies, so that we know that that we're knowing where our women veterans are. We kind of know how to connect with one another. And so there are almost 180,000 of us here in the state of California. So we want to get all 180,000 of us on this roster. It's very important that we do it. So you can find our roster from our website, calvet.ca.gov /roster. The button to our website is /womenvets, calvet.ca.gov /womenvets. The button for our roster is on our main page under the Women Vets page. And all you have to do is click the button, and then you can fill out the roster form and submit it, and we will get that information and put you in there. For anybody that is not a woman veteran but is interested in women vets issues and wants to be on our listserv so that you can receive more information about what we're doing, you can receive updates and notifications about these monthly calls, you can join our listserv. So we would ask you to contact us via our email, which is womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov, and then we'll be happy to put you on our listserv so that you can stay connected with us. We do these calls the first Monday of every month. So for our July phone call, that will be, let me look at my calendar, that will be Monday, July 6th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We do this every month, continuously trying to offer phone calls to you about different topics and information. You can also suggest topics if you think there's something that women need to know about or advocates need to know about, then feel free to suggest a topic. If you have a speaker in mind, feel free to suggest that, and then we can plan to schedule that for one of our calls as well. Let's see.
Lindsay, this is Lisa. Yeah.
Hi, Lisa.
Lindsay, this
Go
is
ahead.
Lisa Roybal at VA Loma Linda.
Hi, Lisa.
Good morning. Hey, I don't know if you advertised. It came in about 5 minutes late, so I don't know if you mentioned the Celebrating Women Veterans event that's happening, being hosted by VA San Diego on the 10th of July. Do you have that advertisement yet?
I have an email, so we haven't sent it out yet, but yes, I would. Thank you for reminding me. I'd love to talk about that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
The VA San Diego Healthcare System is hosting the only celebration for women veterans this year in the Western region. So if you are able to make it down to San Diego, July 10th from 9 to 1:30 at the VA Oceanside Clinic, there will be a fantastic celebration for women veterans. It will include some high-level speakers from VA. It will include different services and items and opportunities for women to connect with services. It's supposed to be pretty big. Do you have any idea, Lisa, how big this event has been in the past when it's been held here?
You know, I don't, because this is the first time they're doing this.
Oh, okay.
This one, because it's coming out of the Center for Women Veterans out of BC.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they're doing 5 of them nationally, and San Diego was picked as one of the sites. So I do, on their website, you have to print out a registration form, fill it out, and scan it into email.
Okay.
It needs to be in by the 26th of June.
Okay.
And I don't know if they have a limitation on their website. It doesn't say if there's a limitation for how many women can show up at this.
Okay. I'm going to pull up the website right now so people can take a look if they would like. Let's see.
It doesn't say on the flyer if there's a limitation, but there is a deadline for registration on the 26th, and I think that's more for how many refreshments that they need to plan for.
Sure. I'm trying to find any information about it right now. So you can, if you aren't aware, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has a Center for Women Veterans. That's an office located in D.C., run by Elisa Bastnight, and her associate director is Betty Mosley Brown, who's been out to California many times. And the center really focuses on advocacy within VA for women who have served, including standing up an advisory committee and running the advisory committee. And these are women appointed from all over the nation to advise VA on how to improve services and serve women in the military. They have several different things from their website that you can take a look at, and it's just for women vets. So on there, they also should have information about the upcoming events. I'm having a hard time finding it, but I did find it the other day, so I know it's there. So take a look at their website. There's more information. If you want more information, we can send some stuff to you directly, womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov. Otherwise, you can go to the website, and it's July 10th. I'll be there. I know several women. Lisa, will you be there? Are you attending?
Yes, I will be.
Yay, party time. Okay, so.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big event. I think the turnout will be pretty significant. So it sounds like there's going to be a lot of resources and a lot of good stuff there for women. So, and of course, you don't have to be a part of the VA San Diego healthcare system. You don't have to be a customer of theirs, and you don't have to be living in San Diego to enjoy the event. This is really for all California women veterans. So that's great. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to discuss or put out there to the callers and to our phone call today?
Yes, this is Patricia Jackson Kelly. I would just like to mention that B. Coyne, our oldest woman veteran, passed away.
Thanks, Pat. Thank you so much for bringing that up. For those of you that don't know, B. Cohen was a woman veteran who resided in the L.A. Westchester area. She just passed away on Sunday. She was 105. And if you didn't have the opportunity to meet B, you would have loved her. She was an amazing, amazing woman, fantastic example of a woman veteran. You can search her name. It's BEACOHEN, and you can learn more about her and the fact that she joined the military during World War II. She was in her mid-30s when she did that, and served her country, went on to do incredible stuff as a civilian, and it was always thinking about veterans and how she could serve them better. So thanks for the reminder, Pat.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything they want to discuss really quick? If not, we can shorten the phone call a little bit and get you moving on to your day. So thanks for joining us. We had a good turnout today. We had about 30 people on the call today, so I'm happy with that. And then this is going to be archived on our website. And so if you have any questions for Dottie, for Yesenia, for Albert, their information is up right now on the webinar. And you can always contact us, and we'll give you their contact information for more questions about vet centers. I want to say thanks again to all three for presenting and to making this an important topic that we care about, and we hope to see more people coming for vet centers. So thank you all again for joining the call, and if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and release you, and have a good day, have a good week.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Bye. Thank you.
One.